Hello, my darling Fumi Nation. How are you? How are we? My name is Fumi Desalu-Vold. For those of you that are stopping by for the very first time, you are so very welcome indeed. I had given an introduction of the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively saga, and I had told you that I would come in with a part 2. In 2019, Justin Baldoni bought the rights to a book, It Ends With Us, from Colin Hoover. And it was a domestic violence story of Colin Hoover's parents, as a matter of fact, her mother most especially. And so she had written this story basically about her mother's journey. And so they started to put things in place. And in the beginning, everything seemed to be okay. Blake Lively was an executive director as well as having the lead, and Justin Baldoni had the lead and was also the producer as his production company Wafer got the book. And so production started and they were filming and they were putting things in play. And as we have seen and heard, there were a lot of suggestions from Blake Lively, which initially was kind of sort of okay, because she came with ideas about her character and how she wanted to be proceed, which was fine. Yeah. Now, when she was coming with all of these ideas, Justin said, you know what, we can go with some of them, but of course we will not go with all of them. It began to become a little bit more demanding. And I say that because there was a time where Justin was invited over to Blake's place, and this was the second time, mind you. The first time he went to see them I think in Tribeca, because they were filming It Ends With Us in New Jersey. And so he came there the first time, and he even held the baby, played with the baby, this and that was fine. The second time when he went there, Taylor Swift was there, Ryan was there, and they now put input into the film of what really just kind of surprised Justin Baldoni. Justin left the house and left her a message, and this is all documented, that you don't have to have your A-list friends put an input into the film. You have come up with suggestions, of which I think are amazing, and we can go with that and not all. And very, very quickly, it became apparent that Blake and her husband were taking over the film. Taylor Swift also got an input of where she was writing a song for the film. Ryan was coming in with suggestions, and they had a meeting with Ryan where he was really, really rude to Justin and the others that were there, because Justin did not come by himself. The others that were there were very disappointed in themselves for not have stepped up and supported Justin as they should have, but they felt intimidated because, of course, these are A-list actors, they are huge big agents, the PR publicity meal and the like. And that was exactly how it played out. In the last episode, I was talking about my experience in Hollywood as an actor, also understanding what happens on set. Blake had now released a civil rights complaint where she had talked about being sexually harassed on set when she was breastfeeding, and how Justin had kissed her on the neck ever so close, and it was longer than necessary, and they did not have an intimate coordinator on set. And I'm here to tell you now a couple of things. First and foremost, there should have been body doubles. Well, you know what, Fumi, wait, stop there. When you're on set, you have cameras. I am in my studio right now and I have one camera. Why? Because we're only using one angle, meaning that we're only going to film from this side. Majority of the time, when you have a feature film and you have more than one main character you're filming, you will have an A camera, you will have a B camera. That B camera will focus on the other character, and then you will have C camera, and that will take care of the atmosphere. That atmosphere, which they also call a hot set, that will be the venue. That will also be extras They might be dancers, they might be eating at the bar, at a restaurant, they might be talking, they might be beside. That is why so many times when you go into Ugly Betty, you can see me, because I was an extra, very close, principal extra, very close to the principals. And Ugly Betty was the first television show ever, I think, that took an extra and made them a principal, which was me. And I ended up doing 2 episodes, and that was how I really started. Needless to say, I digress. That is how the set would be. Now, I have been a body double for many of the black actresses in Hollywood. Yes, baby. They were pregnant. They didn't have to come in that day because they were filming from the back of her head, and the A camera was focused on the other character. So all of this, ever so close. Why didn't anybody suggest body doubles? It wasn't necessary. Needless to say, when Justin was accused of that in the complaint, Entertainment released all 3 of that particular scene of what Blake Lively was accusing him of. And she thought there was no audio, but there was audio. And so they were talking to each other, they were talking about their spouses, and they were just giving suggestions of how the scene should be more authentic, because this was a couple that they were in love and they were in their own world in this very busy atmosphere.
And I have we have these moments where
staring. You just stare.
Literally we've done it for like 5 minutes. it's like, I think you would find it terrifying. We just literally look at each other, and like time.
I found a sociopath.
And like time stops.
Yeah.
But like that's just how it's been for us from the beginning.
No, we're like, oh my god, there's not enough time.
Oh.
And they score again.
Yeah.
Again.
It's like, oh my god, I forgot to tell you something else.
No, I think that's cute. You guys are really cute.
I think it's more than cute.
They won the Stanley Cup.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then let's just do one almost like super close.
Yeah.
Can you guys frame up on Sebastian, on you? Yeah. We'll just do like our lips are right next to each other.
Yeah, gotcha.
But I think it should start talking.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Still rolling.
Don't give it to them. They want it. Don't give it to
They
them.
score.
Just
Right.
keep restraint.
Yeah.
Score.
Just do a little bit of restraint.
Ryan, come on back. And the couple by the bar walk towards us, across. What is that? No, your name. Sorry. Ponytail lady.
And then-
Cross this way.
Let's
Cross
do
this way. Take your day. Cross this way.
They feel so nosy.
I know.
They
And my-
noses.
And my nose is so big.
I was hoping that we could address this. It's not too late. Just gotta shut down. We gotta call an insurance month and just deal with that.
Yeah.
And then,
Cut.
just kidding.
No, it's true. That's why we hired Jenny Slate too. Our noses.
They should have had body doubles. That is one. Secondly, if you kiss me any kind of way as I am, I would have said, why did you do that? Stop right now. I would have stopped. They would have said, take, shut down the set. And I would have said, he held me inappropriately. I don't appreciate it. Why didn't you do that, Blake? Why did you not do that? I say that because the married woman that I am today, I would absolutely have been offended if the situation took place. She went on to talk about how Justin came into her trailer. A trailer is like a mini bedroom on wheels where you get ready, hair, makeup, wardrobe. You can rest because maybe they're doing different scenes. They don't need you, and you can recuperate. And so sometimes you bring your children, your baby, your husband. And so Blake was breastfeeding. I breastfed Adrian, and I used to have like a little cape because for me, Adrian was priority number 1. So it did not matter where I was. I would breastfeed him right away, but I would wear the cape first and I would put him underneath. She said that he came in there and she was breastfeeding and she was offended by that. But it turns out that she was the one that actually invited Justin to come into the trailer so that they could go through their lines. The director on the film also showed Blake Lively himself and his wife in a bathtub when she was having a home birth. Blake Lively was offended by that, and I support Blake Lively in this case, because if Blake was not aware of what she was about to see, you can be offended. And somebody told me that there was no vag, there was nothing. It was just two people in the bathtub. But because I think that there was hostility from both Justin and Blake, everybody was on pins and needles. So there should have been a crisis mediator on set also, just to make sure that everybody was a copacetic in sync, because this was a build-up and it was team A, team B, and there were strategies on both sides. Now, PR teams on both sides. Justin hired his own crisis team, and so did Blake. Blake also happens to be half of a power couple because she's married to Ryan Reynolds. And Ryan Reynolds has shown that he is very egotistical, extremely controlling in his marriage, and they both are very entitled. And I say that because this is not their first rodeo. They've been doing this before, and they looked at Justin Baldoni as a small fry. We will crush you. And so that was how she went on to say that, you know what, I am so in the Game of Thrones. I can't remember what she called herself, but yes, you know, I am so, and so I have my little monsters, which of course are Taylor Swift and her husband, and it began to get out of control. Justin's lawyer countersued because eventually Blake did sue after a lot of pressure that, why are you writing a complaint? Why did you not just sue? And when she did sue, then Justin's lawyer sued and said that the emails that were released from the New York Times, mind you, from her publicity camp, I think they had to have the complaint, and from there they could now feed it to the New York Times. It kind of sort of backfired because Blake Lively also thought that Justin was putting out negative stuff for her in the press. And you know what, it occurred to me that it was a game of chess. I'll move before you move. And they moved too quickly, and it backfired. Because nobody put anything bad. She self-inflicted that. And I say that because before any of this, I saw and I said that Blake Lively was one of the best dressed for me last year of 2024. I loved all of the dresses and the outfits that she wore leading up in promotion of the film, which, mind you, she threatened that she would not promote the film. She threatened that she would not show up if she didn't get her way, if this was not this, that. And Ryan became more and more entangled in this, dominating his wife, and it was showing through because he was basically taking control of the film, of which he was trying to buy. I digress. When I saw Blake Lively's dress, they were all flowers and roses. Of course, why? Because it's about this woman, Lily Bloom, who went through this terrible domestic violence relationship with a neurosurgeon. That is, of course, the film. I did not know it was about domestic violence. As far as I am concerned, the way she dressed from one publicity red carpet to the other, it was nothing short of Sex and the City. I know Sarah Jessica Parker would have lived and loved for those outfits. I did not know. I had no idea it was about domestic violence. And in so being, that is really tone deaf, because domestic violence is not glamorous. And this is why I will forever and a day love really serious actors and actresses, because even when they come out of character and they push the film, they send the message. Viola Davis comes to mind. Right away, Viola Davis comes to mind, as well as Meryl Streep. These are the actors I respect. You know why? Because they are about the work. Don't get me wrong. I love the flash. I love the glam. I love where shave off my head, bust my lip, give me a black eye. I want to play those juicy characters. I don't mind the fluff, but I don't want to be hot, steamy, sexy all the time. When I'm on set, I don't really care what you do with me. I don't care the clothes that I wear. I want it to be in tune with the character. And when you are pushing the film, it's about the film, of which the film did really well. I think it grossed over 300 million and it only took like 25 million to make. But this was the monstrosity of what the lead actors were doing to the film, of which just fired its stem through. And with all of this mess, what happened? We had the beautiful Colleen Hoover, who deactivated her Instagram account because she was in full support of Blake before everything began to backfire. And when I say backfire, because you see, publicity, PR, that was our ammunition back in the day. But what nobody took into account was that we are now in the digital age. And so there's power now on YouTube. There's influence on TikTok. And there's hell of an awareness on Instagram. Before anybody asks your name, they want to know what's her at on YouTube, what's her at on Instagram, what's her at on TikTok. That now validates who you are. What you forget is that the TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube are also validating who you are against what you're putting in the papers. So when we saw all of the publicity for Blake Lively and she was talking nonsense, it was tone deaf. She had her feet up and they said, if a domestic violence survivor wanted to reach out to you, what would you say? And she was there. Well, you can give them my location. It was self-destructive because you are in a new zip code. And what has happened is that the publicity wheel have not caught up. And it leaked all over the place. And the bad press was her doing. But she's so entitled. She's so delusional. She's so arrogant that it couldn't possibly be me. Because you see, I was on Gossip Girl and there was nothing in the press. That does not mean that she was not a diva on Gossip Girl. It's just that we didn't get to see it. Well, again, like I said, it's the digital age. And so Justin Baldoni, who got his own crisis management and team because there were so many demands, he did not know which way this was going. Blake, on the other hand, was going full on, and she threatened him that, you know what, I have my little two gizmos and we will crush you, and I am so in the Game of Thrones. I've done this before, this, that, and the other. It went bad very, very quickly. So this is part 2. I will be back with part 3, mama. All right, do not forget to like, to subscribe, hit the notification button, and let us get the conversation popping. This is going to be ongoing because it is giving us the Johnny Depp and the Amber Heard vibes. But here we are, my darlings. It is what it is. All of my love, darlings, do not forget to like, to subscribe, hit the notification button, and I will see you I'll see you tomorrow. All of my love.